Om Shri Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Greetings to everyone world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe, wherever you are. We extend you a very warm welcome. It's a green morning, green afternoon, green evening because it's early morning in Canada, United States, Latin America. A lot of my friends, those are joining me from Peru, from Brazil, from Costa Rica, from Venezuela, from Chile, and Argentina. I was just talking to Professor Donald Hawkins. He, along with me, we had gone together for the rainforest and ecotourism concept long time back. I was recollecting 1989. That was a beautiful journey. And he was just telling me, Doc, you're rocking during the pandemic and post-pandemic, not even a one-day break. I said, that's the way the world should be in hospitality and tourism. We got to make others happy, comfortable, and customer delight and customer craving and customer service is our motto. And that's what we look forward to. Today is a wonderful, going to be the deliberations, celebrations, because I've got two of my distinguished guests, those have joined us. Professor Dr. I've got Sandilyan ji. He is,
Namaskar.
yes, hearty welcome. He's
Welcome.
faculty of the Hotel and Tourism at the SGT University, Gurugram. He will be giving rest of the details in a little while to us. And also Birendra Kishore Roy ji. He is the faculty for tourism and hospitality at CV Raman Global University at Bhubaneswar in a beautiful state of Odisha, where we are going to have the annual convention of Feast, Forum of Educators and Skill Providers for Tourism, Hospitality and Aviation on 5th and 6th of October at Hotel Sandy's Tower. That's the way session is going to be. This is the pre-run and the precursor where we are deliberating and we are discussing lots of things. What kind of a papers to be presented over there, short, crisp, and to the point. And today is impact of artificial intelligence in the hospitality industry. And yesterday you had a session on HR, and today's session once again is on HR. I'm so very happy. Let's move on no further. And let me just take it. Yes, here it is. Yesterday, we had the HR. If you remember, we had HRD department, the management department head from that is Purnima University, Jaipur. She had come yesterday. Before that, I had two youngsters from Coimbatore, and they were all the way in Ooty, and they've got their own startup. It was such a wonderful journey with them as well. Ladies and gentlemen, ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, is a link between our NRI brothers and sisters, leading corporate houses, and of course, the educator fraternity ecosystem, what we have got in our country. And of course, our beautiful audience world over, because it is Vasudha Kutumbakam. So we extend a very warm welcome to each one of you. In 2001, I still recall, former Secretary Tourism Government of India, before that DG Tourism Government of India, Shibiki Goswamiji, he gave the vision and he told me, Gulshan, you have got Travel Agents Association, Tour Operators Association, Hoteliers Association, outbound, inbound, domestic, adventure. Why don't we have in our country something for the educators, for skill providers, for competencies, research scholars, and all the people those are together in this system, because they are the foundation for the entire human development. So ladies and gentlemen, 2001 was the birth, and that's the Association of Educators and Skill Providers for Tourism, Hospitality and Aviation. We all have come a long way. There's going to be a 22nd annual international convention of the Feast, and we are also going to have B2B meetings of the entire travel trade fraternity. My deep gratitudes and thanks to legends of our tourism, hospitality, and airline industry from India and overseas. All of them together, they are giving their valuable support. People would be joining us from the world over for these deliberations. And first day, we have got like different technical sessions, inaugural session. We have also sent across a request to Nagaland Chief Minister to be with us on this particular occasion. We are going to give you some surprise right over there. On the second day, we are going to have paper presentations. Our research scholars, our teachers, our trainers, our educators, our experts from the different fields, we would like to listen to them, each one of them getting about 10 to 15 minutes And this is going to be the event, international convention, paperless, no delegate kit, no writing pad, nothing of that sort. Everything is going to be digital because the theme is so appropriate: artificial intelligence in tourism, hospitality, and aviation. And 2 days, we are going to learn from each other. We are going to share the entire artificial intelligence and technology based everything. So that's why we are inviting every day our brothers and sisters, and they're coming. We're getting very positive, very warm response from India as well as overseas. Just before this session, I spoke to Saudi Arabia, and one of my students, she is heading tourism department over there, and she told, sir, I wish to come on this. I said, more than welcome. And Saudi Arabia, as it is, you are promoting so much of tourism. Why don't you discuss with us and tell us what all is happening? So people, those are interested to be part on this Zoom sessions, you can give us a WhatsApp on 73411220044, or you can send a small email to Chitra Kapoor ma'am, feast@icsi.asia. I want to take you to beautiful city Bhubaneswar. Let me take a breath and let move ahead. Now, Napoleon Hill, way back, long time. And when you go through one particular book that's called Think and Grow Rich, it's a wonderful book. He says, half the life I want to spend in earning, and remaining half life, I want to spend that whatsoever I have earned for the social upliftment of the humanity. So, ladies and gentlemen, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's come together. Let's move together for tourism, hospitality, aviation, entire service industry together. Our chamber, before pandemic, we had finishing school, brick and mortar right on the ground, where we were 56,000 youth have gone and 36,000 teacher capacity building program. Post pandemic, we have turned the entire thing into digital inspirational lab, and how the technology is playing very important role. So let's learn from each other, collaborate with each other. There's no competition, it's a collaboration. That's the new norms which have been set as a roadmap post-pandemic. This program is going live world over for all of us. Wherever you are, you can enjoy at the rate ICSI India Live. And let me take you to two of my brothers. Those are joining us today from two different cities, one from Gurugram, another one from Odisha in Bhubaneswar. So join me in extending a very warm welcome, Professor R.P. Sandilyan ji and Mr. Birendra Kishore Roy ji. Hearty welcome to both of you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. And I would request both of you, we can start with from the SGT University Gurugram, Dr. P.R. Sandilyan ji, to give the detailed profile of his so that people know him world over before we get into today's deliberation. And thereafter, I would request Birendra Kishore Roy ji also to introduce himself so that the world knows better. And meeting, eating, and greeting, that is our profession we talk about. So, Dr. Professor P.R. Sandilyan ji.
Thank you so much, Major Dr. Gulshan Sharma. It is indeed an honor to be here today. I am P.R. Sandilyan, and I come from the city of Chennai, which is part of Tamil Nadu, the capital city of Tamil Nadu. However, I have spent my entire life living in the other parts of India. My education was in Eastern India. I work in Northern India, and I have lived in Eastern and Western India throughout most of the time. I still have my residence in Eastern India at Kolkata. I also have my residence in Bangalore and Chennai, but I keep traveling. One of the best things about my past I would like to share is like my dad used to work in the Indian Railways. So as he was part of the Indian Railways, I traveled a lot along with him, and I have stayed at small stations, big cities. So it has been my fortune, and that is where I developed the interest in travel and tourism. So once that was there, that kind of bite was there in my mind. I did a hotel management, which was quite natural. I started my career as a chef. I joined the Taj Group of Hotels, part of the Indian Hotel Group, Indian Hotel Company, and one of the premier luxury segment properties in Kolkata, the Taj Bengal. I spent about 4 years with the Taj, learning the rudimentary basics of culinary arts and skills. Then, when I became a chef, I thought now it's time to have a look at the world. So that gave me the scope to join a cruise liner, P&O Cruises. I spent about 2 years with the cruise line, traveling across the globe. I've covered, visited more than 100 different countries, and it's an experience by itself. Your knowledge, your skills, your mind, and your vision totally changes when you travel. You meet so many different people, so many different kinds of cuisines, products, cultures. So that is what has actually helped me grow in my life. And after I came back to India, I settled down in the teaching field. I have been a teacher and I have increased my educational qualifications also with a master's, MPhil, and a doctorate in the relevant field. Currently, I am a mentor to students. I teach at the SGT University, Gurugram. I have been teaching for the last 10-15 years, and I also guide students and help them achieve their goals. So this is a short, introduction of myself. I would now invite my colleague, Mr. Birendra Kishore Roy, to invite himself and introduce himself and the session to the entire audience. But before I leave this session to Birendra, I would like to thank each and every member who is watching this for sparing your valuable time and joining us here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Please go ahead, Birendra ji.
Thank you, Professor Sandilyan. Very good evening, Major Dr. Gulshan Sharma, and to all the spectators and to my all Indian brothers and sisters and everyone whoever watching worldwide and giving your precious time to watch out this session. So myself, Birendra Kishore Roy. I'm basically from West Bengal, in a small city of West Bengal. It's called Navadvip. It's basically a city of temple. I belongs from there. I started my career in the hotel industry, but it was a little different way. As Dr. Sandilyan said, he was there in different cities. Is similar like to me also as well. As my father also there in Indian Railway, fortunately or unfortunately, and we have traveled a lot to multiple cities, and it was been a very good journey for me and as well as for my family. So since 2014, I started my career in this hotel and tourism industry as a associate guest delight manager for one of the renowned QSR brand for Domino's Pizza. Thereafter, I move on to the hotel industry from F&B segments to the room divisions basically, and got the foreign exposure in one of the luxurious brand for the Jumeirah International in Kuwait for Hotel Al Kashif International, and been there for the teaching fraternity as an academician, imparting my knowledge for the gaining of the knowledge for the young hoteliers since 2017. I have been there in Bhubaneswar with associated with C.V. Raman Global University for last almost 2 years, and it's been a wonderful journey. In my last 6 years of teaching experience, it's been a wonderful journey for being with the students to learn them and how they want to join, how they want to shine in this wide career opportunities of travel and tourism sector. It's been a really wonderful journey to show my capabilities to being the expertise of this travel and tourism sector. I also improve my qualities by completion of my master degree, basically the dual master's degree in MTTM as well as in MBA. And now I'm in the virtual process of pursuing PhD in travel and tourism and hospitality. Besides that, I am the author of couple of research articles published in renowned journals with the help of my professor, Dr. P.R. Sandilyan. He is one of my mentors, and really thanks to him for motivating me and helping me all the time. And so today we are over here for our presentation, the topic of the impact of artificial intelligence in hospitality HR, which is one of the interesting topic since after COVID-19, we all know the situation has been changed drastically, especially for our hospitality and tourism sector, where the industry employees and the new joinees will or about to face some modern and new challenges to being settled down in the industry. So we have choose this topic for the better future of our industry in both industry as well as in the academy of travel and tourism and hospitality. So with your permission, sir, we would like to share the screen and of our slide, and here we go.
All yours, all yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much.
When Sandilyan ji was talking about Taj Group, I was remembering my colleague with whom I spent my entire young days, Ajoy Mishra, Ravi Dubey, Shashank Varti, all these were my colleagues at that point in time.
They would all have been my mentors, I think.
It was such a pleasure, such a pleasure. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
I believe my screen is visible, sir.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
All right. So let me put it on the display mode. I believe it's in the full screen mode.
Yeah, Birendra, before you start, I just want to get a quick word here.
Please,
the
sir,
very
please.
work which we started, impact of artificial intelligence in hospitality, it came by as a result of a conversation between Birendra and me. One fine day, he just, was asking me, there is so much of this artificial intelligence which is coming up. Is it actually, what is the result going to be, whether it is going to leave us without jobs? How is it going to affect us? And, he was a bit worried. So then I said, see, there's no point of thinking of it in those lines. Let us as well go and find out what is the status. And of course, I will be sharing my inputs in between, but the major presentation, Birendra, he has done the work and I have just supported him. So I will also be there along with him. Carry on, Birendra.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. So impact of artificial intelligence in hospitality HR. I have mentioned HR instead of mentioning only artificial intelligence in hospitality and tourism industry. This is because, as Professor said, I always have a plan to expose the current scenario of this hospitality and tourism sector in especially after COVID-19. As we all know, this hospitality and tourism sector, which is human-oriented and people has a desire to interact with the people whenever they are visiting any establishment, which can be any hotel or restaurant, or it can be any outlet, or it can be a kiosk. They will find individual who will be interacting with them, provide them services, will ask, interact, what kind of facilities they want for, and what kind of facilities the guest also desire to have in exchange of money. Now, especially after COVID-19, when we have observed that scenario has totally changed, people has been put into the shell, like in our room, in our home, we were totally confined for last couple of hours or more than couple of hours, a couple of years to, and we were able to trying to expose to other human being to discuss, to talk, to meet with other people, to travel worldwide. But due to this COVID, we were locked up inside of our home. But right now, when we want to expose ourselves, the situation is having some terms and condition, and we have to maintain our distance by social distancing. There are some rules and regulations like we has to maintain some facilities that has to be incorporated by using different gadgets. There will be minimum use of interaction between the people, between the human being, but we'll be using different machine and gadgets to interacting with the people. So we have came to this research topic, the impact of artificial intelligence in hospitality and HR. So as we know, like when we are talking about the artificial intelligence, is always came into our mind the robots. Just think, when we are visiting any hotel, we are just watching, we are talking to a particular robot which is having only different comments, and it can interact with the people by comments only. Suppose you are the guest, you are visiting to a hotel, and you are asking for some help regarding your cab facilities. You are having some issues for paying your rental of your, the cab driver. But the robot which is standing right before your eyes, it's actually replying, tell me, sir, how may I help you in your guest registration? Which is not, in fact, the point the guest is desiring or opting for. Suppose you need someone to be assisted to carry your luggage to the guest room, but on the similar side, the robots are there at the lobby area, and it's these robots are waiting there to serve you with the help of some command, but you are not actually desiring for all those facilities.
I can interrupt, Birendra?
Please, sir, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just want to share a light moment here. It is a very common finding, most of the times there are these chatbots and all this kind of help, which are automated help. But I have observed that they would have the answer to every question that you don't have. And except for the question that you want to ask, they will that time say that we'll transfer the call to a customer care executive, or possibly they'll hang up. So that is the reality. Yeah, Birendra, you can please carry
on. Absolutely. And besides that, it's become sometimes little bit of annoying for the individual, the guest, or the visitor. Like, I do not want this facility, but I need some decent assistance from the individual who can solve my queries. I just don't need one robot who will be interacting with me by using some specific comments. I need someone who will be assisting me, greet me, will receive me like I am the guest of the hotel of the particular establishment. So moving ahead, I have given some of the photos during the preparation of our PPT, and I have divided this one as a the barrier between the past and the present scenario of the artificial intelligence, growing interest of the artificial intelligence, and how we were using these hospitality segments by using trained professionals who are already working in the industry. As you can see in the first picture that I have mentioned on the below, the past, some group of guests are being assisted by the receptionist who is helping them during their time of registration, or probably they are about to take their booking of rooms. However, you think at present on the other side, some people are there with some modern gadgets and waiting to have the facility in terms of revenue generation, but there are no one to assist the guest, which is very much matter of concern at present, because people are getting much more revenue oriented rather emotionally handling the guest, and which can be much better way of hospitality services. People like to be there in a group in the restaurant. They like to booze with their families, have gossip, they communicate, they spend some time with their families, and they came back to their home. But at present, the situation is like that. Hotels are modernized, equipped with multiple facilities. QR code, in fact, has been installed in multiple places. You no need to use, you need to talk with the other people. Rather, you have your smartphone, you can scan it and you can interact with the machine, get your fulfillment done by using all those queries by using the machines. That's it. People has become much more confined compared to the previous scenario of last 50 years of hospitality. As we know, chefs who are much efficient in cooking, like sir, he was there, Dr. Sandilyan. Sir, you were there in the industry, you were there with the mass group, you were preparing food for long duty hours. People were there to serve. Chefs were there to prepare the food. But at present, there are machines who has program within itself, maybe by the human, but it's preparing some specific category of food. It doesn't have any specific category or the demand among the people. just think there are some specific waiter, robot waiter, in fact, not even human being, just come to your place near to your sitting area and will ask you by some specific command or sound. It's a little bit of creepy, basically, and you are about to give your order. So these are something is being changed. However, people are getting modernized day by day by using different technologies and gadgets. So we are moving ahead to the next slide. I have given some, I believe the slides are being changing.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, it's changing.
I have given some GIF. We all heard about that. These are some virtual reality and the present scenario whenever we are opening any website or visiting any modern hotel after 2022. There are some hotels are using virtual reality. Just think, you are not even visiting to a specific hotel or any resort or whatsoever. You are just locating at your own destination, purchase the gadget by expense of some money, and you can visualize the entire the hotel, the infrastructure, the facilities, and how even the room is look like, and based on that you can book your room. And it's really matter to understand that even if you are not visiting to that destination, you are having the option to look for the future when you will be staying for a particular destination. It can be there in a hotel or in a any motel or whatsoever. Whenever we are using any specific website, like sir said before earlier, like there are certain chatbots. Whenever we are opening any OTA or online travel agent websites like Make My Trip, Trivago, there are specific chatbots are there like Nia or by any other name, which are coming like a pop-up. And even if you do not desire to have the assistance from those individuals, automatically it will be generated on the corner of your screen and will try to assist you with their tremendous talk with some automatic messages. Even if you are trying to delete all those messages, it will keep coming. So these are something which is happening. Just think about the QSR like Domino's, Pizza Hut. People, every individual, every customer, whenever they are desiring for pizza, they are having a kind of a mindset, oh, there are some Domino's, there are some KFC for the chicken specific or some specific material if you are going for the Subways. So they are having their display by using this kind of visual display that they can see the recent menus that they are selling to their customers. So by visualizing this, customer having also some kind of desire to purchase all those products. And obviously these kind of robots or the waiter robots, which are now capable of serving the foods to their customer, but obviously after the preparation. So moving ahead to the next slide and requesting sir to give his some inputs. Professor Sandilyan.
Yeah. See, Birendra, very interestingly, you have shown all the points about, how to say artificial intelligence and robotics. But
My
again,
pleasure,
see,
and with your guidance, obviously, sir.
now I would like to just highlight one point. It is because of this technology and the development that you are able to show so many things on the screen. So we have to understand one thing, that technology and development is here to stay. What we need to understand is how much we can use it in the right way. See, I would like to share a point here. The European nations are way different in their acceptance of technology, as well as the visualization of technology, because over there the labor costs are very high. So technology becomes more logical for them because they do not have people to do a lot of services. But again, the culture and the costs of countries in Asian countries where people expect service, people want somebody to come and attend, that kind of mindset is there. So in these countries, the technology is going to take some time to actually make such a big impact. But yes, we have to live with this, that in today's world technology is there and it is here to stay, and we have to see how best we can synchronize with this technology and make sure that we are growing along with the technology. So you have got some pictures. I think you can just quickly, share your points on the pictures also.
Definitely. So I'll definitely summarize with your point. As you said very rightly, in Western countries, it's much more adaptable. People are much more adaptive in receiving the service from the technology. However, in India or many other in developing countries, it's become a challenge because not only it's very much expensive to install, rather installing, there are also issues in adapting. However, you are using a mobile phone, that is something different, which you are using 24/7, keeping in your pocket and using it for your daily process. However, whenever you are visiting in a hotel, you want someone going to assist you by providing you some services, some specific needs to be fulfilled. Some housekeeping personnel will be there to clean your guest room. Some waiter will be there to serve you the food, and who will be the human? Suddenly some mechanical gadgets or technology will come in front of you and you don't know, you'll remain blank totally. Like how I can avail the facilities from this kind of new machineries, which I have never been used before. So that's the challenge at present. Sir.
Just again interrupting you here, I'll recall one very interesting incident.
Yes,
recently, sir. I was traveling from Austria, I think, to Zurich, right. And it was a completely automated airport, and we were at the early hours of the morning, somewhere around 4 a.m. and everything was self check-in except for a security guard. There was no manpower available in the airport. Fortunately, I understand a little bit of French and also a little bit of Austrian, so I was able to understand the self check-in process and managed to get my counterfoil printed and take it to the machine and get my check-in done. But unfortunately, I was seeing that there was a Korean guy there who was struggling for more than 45 minutes because he did not understand a word of Swiss, French, English, and the security guard did not understand.
Issues.
Yeah. So the thing was like, even though it is automated, you are not prepared and you need at least 1 or 2 people to, actually help you there. The signages are different, the languages are different. And he just stood there bewildered. I think he missed his flight. I am not too sure of that. Though I tried to help him, but unfortunately, he spoke no language which I could help him out. And I was also running short of time for my flight. So these are some challenges of automation. Carry on.
Absolutely, sir. So with this note, I'm moving on to the next slide. As I have mentioned, as I was discussing in a reception, and especially after COVID, when all the health related protocols have been imposed by the government for the sake of all the humankind to eradicate the virus and to stop the further infection, people were using different preventive measures to avoid the infection, and they were using mask and other sufficient tool to being proactive among their employees and among the customer. But at the similar level, they were in the verge of change of using this human service to the technical service by using different gadgets. People were using not even pen, paper to write their names. They were using some different displays to write their names. Just only a signature were enough to check in that time. And it was not too old times. It's only 2021. I'm talking about the March since till date. So that's the time that we have passed. And right now, this situation is continuously moving. However, these technical changes cause some issues. Just think, among the group of young generation who are the prospective guests to the hotel, there are some senior citizens who are the guests as well. They are not aware of using all this technology, even if they are aware of how to receive the phone, which has a receiver, even not the keypad or the query pad, even the modern, the smartphone or these gadgets that we have and we are using at present day. So they faced much of the challenges, even if this social distancing was imposed to the individual like customer or the employees and the guest. People were totally helpless in using all this kind of technology. Some artificial intelligence that were there installed in most of the hotel entrance to rectify you, rather I must use to make you sanitize. This kind of sanitizing machine people were using. And in developing countries, most of the people, they are not aware of how to do that, how to, make yourself, goes through between that kind of system or before the entrance of your hotel. So it was quite challenging time. Those who were there in the industry, I have listened from many of my students, like who were pursuing their industrial training that time, like people were having much of the regulation they has to follow and which was imposed by the government. So the hotel industry, hotels, luxury restaurants, they have to maintain all this kind of protocols. So they were in the process of using these technologies and automation to facilitate their guests. However, it is not quite satisfactory at present, because some of the people who are still in the favor of using the human interaction, who can always assist them with their virtual note and can help them at every moment. So that is their point. And on the other side, people are waiting to visit those kind of hotels which are equipped with modern technologies like augmented reality, as I have mentioned before, some modern machines, some express checkout system, and different technologies, including the audio-visual displays that can interact with the guest. We are moving ahead to the next slide. In review of literature, as it was one of the interesting topic, and again it was one of the conceptual paper, we have taken into the consideration of many journals. It's not less than 100. We have gone through, we have gathered important points, valuable notes from different books, book chapters, and conference proceeding to provide some valuable details in our research, which please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing here. Since this is a conceptual paper, it is done by analysis of mostly secondary data. We have not collected any data directly. So what we have tried to do is, I had advised him to, break up the literature into 3 different concepts. One based on what customers perceive, one on the employer's perception, and the last on the perception of the employees. So we have looked at the 3 aspects of it broadly: the customer, the employer, and the employee, and we have tried to analyze how each one would have reacted or how it has impacted them in these categories. Okay, go ahead, sir.
So as we have planned like this way, like what can be the outcome and how this situation will be more beneficial if we can segregate these ROL, that the data that we have derived for. So firstly, the customer perception, which is one of the important thing in present hospitality business or the hotel market, like starting from the food ordering, booking of the hotels, and visiting yourself in some destination, or any paying of your one of the transaction, are one of the major criteria that is happening in any of the hospitality and tourism outlets. As I have mentioned before, like when you are using any restaurant menu card, instead of using this menu book or the menu card, you are using your smartphone. You are just searching by using some specific command. You are looking for this kind of food, and you can easily find different outlets in the restaurant in your locality. And even if you are visiting different restaurant, you are finding individual vending machines which are already equipped with multiple foods. But by just using single coins, you can access with different kind of pre-prepared or pre-packed food by visiting those establishment. Not only that, there are some food bloggers who are also nowadays we have watched, like even it is happening in our social media, that there are different food bloggers who are not in fact the food bloggers, but having multiple information in their mind, and they are sharing in the social media. And by look into that, people are opting for the different foods. Like I say, this food of this restaurant in this destination, it's very good. So people are opting for this kind of food and going for this restaurant, even if those food are not good. Like, as I said, for the booking of the hotels, instead of visiting physically, people are using multiple apps. We are having booking.com, we are having Trivagos, different OTAs. we can search in the Google, we can find the locality, we can choose our desired price, or as per our budget, we can locate any hotel. And as I said, the chatbots, simultaneously it will come also on the screen, and you click on the same, it will give you some automatic answer. So these are the strengths. Let's talk about some impatient customer who are also visiting in the hotel or restaurant. They need some kind of food, some kind of delivery, some kind of service, which will be a ready-made one. They desire for something like they can see their menu on their table. I'm talking about the virtual reality. In fact, I must say, I'm telling the story of 2016. I was there in Marina restaurant in Alcashab Hotel for Jumeirah Group. People are having one outstanding menu which is there on the table, and just clicking on the holographic image, people can change their different menu items. They can check for toppings, they can check for what are the ingredients people are using layer by layer, which are much interesting one. And rather visiting in a kitchen how the chef are preparing the food, people are in much favor of look into this kind of technology, like how foods can be displayed on your table and how it can be served similarly, which has been shown in your virtual reality and on your platter. So this is something which is happening in the customer mind. In case of making the transaction, people are in much more favor of paying by Google Pay, by UPI payments, and many more. People are avoiding nowadays, which can be a beneficial, in fact, and there are much more possibilities which nowadays our PMO is trying to improve this kind of online transaction to avoid any kind of discrepancies in payments to the vendor or to any establishments. Likewise, in case of owner perception, we have understood they are mainly business oriented, as I am saying. Like you visit to any of the hotel which were running their business, in fact, these are the current hotel, in fact, in any of the locality, their main motto is to achieve the sale, achieve the target by hook or crook. Now, once this situation being changed after COVID-19, this situation is like, okay, I will cut off, I'll let off one employee, I'll install some specific technology which will be much more beneficial. I no need to pay him any wages like of salary, no need to pay them some salary or the tips, and that technology will interact with the guest by using specific command. It can serve the guest as many times into 24/7. Unfortunately, it doesn't need any food, in fact. So that is the beneficial part of and the mindset of the owner, which is very much dangerous in our hospitality and tourism segments, as people think it's one of the segments where human involvement is necessary. And people actually desire, suppose you think, sir, you are visiting to any certain individual, after discussion, you understand it's a humanoid robot. You will feel horrified. Oh my God, I'm talking to a humanoid robot. It's only look like a human, but doesn't have any capability to think, which is one of the potential of human nature that actually can think and give us the level of service. At the end, the employee perception, which is much more typical, and I must say it's one of the most horrifying situation at present. Just after COVID-19 and during COVID, we have observed almost a 23rd% within India, and in worldwide, it's 7% of the total population have lost their job, who are involved in this industry directly or indirectly and working as a professional, trained or untrained, or can be a fresher. They are suffering in the issue because of this, this involvement of artificial intelligence, adaptation of new technologies, especially for those employees who were very much old and not having much knowledge in using the technologies. People, in fact, during meetings, we have already seen in hospitality academics and in establishment also, people are conducting meeting by using Zoom, using Blackboard like as one of the platform to interact with the people, rather talking or conversing face to face. This is not only just because the adaptation of artificial intelligence, this is also the reason for COVID. And also people think, okay, we have introduced new technology, So why not we can continue this technology for further 15 years? But we are actually forgetting the main thing, people, employees or trained professional. In fact, the old general manager who is working in your organization have gathered experience for last 21 years and giving his or her best for the organization, but for the sake of technology and only because of the excuse of, I am using the word excuse of COVID-19, they are being lagging off from the industry. They are suffering and they are losing their jobs. You know, this news of suicide cases also been increased that we have already, understood. We have got multiple newses, daily newses in the last couple of years. So these are the major challenges which I just have said in our previous slide. I'll start with the bottom line, this firing of the employees. I must say, not only for the hospitality industry or the hotel industry or the tourism industry, lagging off or cut off your employees cannot be the solution. Make your employees trained. You need to give some time. Which we need is basically the patience. You need to give your employee the time. Being an employer, you need to give yourself some time to adopt the technology. It's not like people know everything, which is happening in practical in the industry. You need to invest yourself's time, also the labor. You need to give your much time to introduce new technology. Also, you need to see the, the mindset of the employees, how they can adapt it, or are they really using the technologies? Are they really in favor of, or you are just trying one step ahead? Being a boss, these are the one of the challenges that we have found during our research and the point I have mentioned over here. About the research gap, as I have already said, I would like to request Professor Sandilyan to enlighten more points on this.
Actually, I just want to add a couple of points here. The research gaps were very obvious that, whether artificial intelligence or technology is actually capable of replacing human beings. To an extent, yes. But this is again, you have to understand whether you are looking at in what context, whether you are looking at in the Asian or Indian context or in the European context or in the developed nations context. Over there, it is already there. People are used to dealing with technology. But countries like India, which is very much rural, where technology is available only in the cities. I'll again recall one very interesting incident when the banking sector, when they decided to computerize all the banks, one fine day, all the banks in the villages were computerized. So they told no more registrations or recording transactions by hand. It has to be done on the system. Unfortunately, one such village, the computer lost its battery because there was no charge. So then they realized that this village doesn't have power for 18 hours in a day. So how do they charge the computer? So now the clerks were sitting idle. When they came, they said they have stopped the paperwork. So we don't have charge. So now they decided to come up with a UPS. When they provided a UPS, every evening the bank manager has to carry the UPS 15 kilometers away to the nearest city to charge the UPS. So you understand the beauty of the system. So somewhere, understanding the market, understanding the availability of resources and merging it is required. So this is what we looked at as the gaps. We tried to understand how countries like India would deal with technology. We also tried to understand that, yes, development is something we cannot stop. So what is the right way we can go forward with this? I think, Birendra, you can move on to the next slide and carry on.
Definitely, sir. Before discussing and pointing light on our research objective, I just recall one of the very four-letter word term that we all know, the chat GPT, that came into the picture, which is one of the, people can say it's one of the beneficial for our tourism, travel and tourism, academics, logistics, and many other sectors. Sir, you will never believe, I just click on the search button by using some audio visual tool. I give a comment, write an article or write a paper, write a application regarding some certain topic, and it has all the knowledge. It can write everything on a piece of paper on the visual display, and people can easily copy paste it and paste it somewhere else and show their capabilities, like he himself or she himself, she herself has written the application. Situation are very much critical, and people are thinking the adaptation of technology is on the better side, but it's actually making us more lazy, rather making us much more proactive. So about the research objective, which is one of the 2 research objectives that we have established for our research, to explore the different technologies, which I have already mentioned, like machines' impact on the hospitality and hotel business. This is not only just limited in the hospitality and hotel business. This is everywhere. In a globe of tourism, it is there with the hospitality, it is there with hospitality academics, in hotel management, in the service industry, and everywhere. And also the second one, as we have mentioned, the identify where the artificial intelligence and the robotics have the possibilities to improve the service sector. We will look into the next slide and we'll discuss more. So about the research methodology, as we have discussed, this is a conceptual paper.
I think you can go ahead. This is already discussed that it is a conceptual.
Right, sir, right, sir.
Can move on.
So furthermore, discussion can be done on our research result and discussion. What we have found, like artificial intelligence and different automation, is helping the industry, no doubt. It's helping the owner, the leader, hospitality leaders in generating their revenues as they are using modern technologies. So it is becoming much more display-oriented industry. I must say it's a display-oriented industry that we are becoming, rather providing any personalized guest service to understanding the guest emotion.
We can put it this way, Birendra, that the visual impact has improved a lot.
Right, exactly. So in case of machine and technology, we need to understand it has only the command by voice, by writing, but it has the command only. But emotions, human emotion, it doesn't have, which is not only wasting the capabilities of humankind who are professional, getting trained in leading institution. Like we all are from the hotel management, one of the hotel management institutes around the globe. We have been trained ourselves by gathering experience. So if machines are capable of using different technology by using certain commands, then where is the need for the human? So after the COVID-19 that we have understood, the contactless services has been achieved definitely. But as per the technology and the risk of unemployment that cannot be secured because of the current situation. As we know, the lack of growth, the adaptability has been happening for last almost 1.5 years, because people are in the verge of using different technologies everywhere, but people are not getting trained or not being adapted all the time. So they are facing challenges. You can see in the picture, in some linen room, there are some robots which is moving around. Earlier, people have some public area attendant who will be there all the time to collect soiled linen, or the products can be delivered to the laundry. Right now, robots are there. Now just tell me, if the capacity of the robot is not that much, how much linen being available on the floor? So will that robot will be there all the time to collect those huge amount of soiled linen to transfer it from the floor to the laundry? Some specific kid, a kid who is moving around, playing around the guest room corridor, suddenly he just pressed any uneven buttons and suddenly that particular machine got shut down. So how rest of the guests who are staying on your guest room corridor, staying in the guest room, can react or can ask for any certain help for sharing their for cleaning their guest room, or for collecting of the laundries, or for having any of the guest room services, like we know. So these are something which are happening nowadays due to the adaptation of technology. So as per the conclusion that we can say,
May I?
Please, sir, please.
Yeah. See, I just want to share a couple of interesting points here. I had already mentioned this, that technology is here to stay. We need to understand, and that is what our study also tells us. Yes, there is a lot of impact of technology on the and artificial intelligence in the different aspects of the industry. Today, when you go to office, you sign in by using a biometric, which is technology. Your classes can be recorded on video, and you can sit in a room and take multiple classes. That is technology. So where the benefits of technology are there, we have to adapt. And somewhere we have to understand that people also need to focus on developing themselves. They cannot say that I am doing this job and I will live throughout doing this job, because that job may become extinct. You need to understand and you need to be prepared for the future. I'm giving a simple example. Again, on one of my travels, I was staying at a hotel in Zurich. So everything over there was automized. You step into the corridor, the lights will be on. And you put a hand under the tap, there will be a water flow. Everything is with sensor. But when I look at a hotel or property in India, the employer would say you hire someone and make him sit on the corridor. When the guest steps out, he'll switch on the light. That is far cheaper for me than having a sensor put up. So it's again the perception which you need to understand. The way we look at the business, the way we look at the market. The cost of labor in third world countries is much lower. However, there is a point which I would like to reiterate here. The sad point is many of the hospitality owners and businesses actually forgot the meaning of hospitality when it came to troubled times. When the time was there, when they had to stand up to their employees and say that, don't worry, we are there for you. This firing and other things has led to a lot of negative impact. Many of the studies which I came across highlighted these points. So that is what I would like to also say. But in reality, the most important conclusion is that there is always going to be the owners of technology, but it cannot be at the cost of humans. Technology must be there to support humans, support mankind, and help them develop, not restrain them or snatch their livelihood. That is how we should foresee technology and improve and use technology. So this is my humble presentation to the audience, and I think if Birendra, if you want to add something, feel free. Otherwise, I think we can close the session here.
Absolutely, sir. Very well said, sir. So definitely, we think, and it is recommended, that artificial intelligence of technology or automation must go side by side for the benefit of humankind. It should be there all the time. It must be there all the time to facilitate the guest, to facilitate the customer in all the segments, not only in the hospitality or tourism sector, but for all the segments. So with this, we are concluding our presentation, and so we'll be expecting your questions and support and guidance.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor R.P. Sandilyan ji and Mr. Birendra Kishore Roy ji. It was something very meaningful, futuristic, what we have talked about. Yes, human beings are always going to be there. Technology is going to take the frontal seat now. We can close the presentation so that we can come live and three of us, we can be together. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Technology is going to support, technology is going to take, and the best part, laughter comes, because you got to take the human beings also into consideration. Countries which are more populous, countries which are having huge population, they got to be taking care of their skilled manpower also. And at the same time, like initially you made a mention of Europe and all, where the population is getting aged and shrinking and not too much of that is coming. So I think match and mix when we talk about, depending on what suits which country, which region, which continent, how much technology, where all technology, and how the humanity has to be skilled and given competencies. I think it's a wonderful what we have got. I've got a small request to make to both of you. You have done such a good hard work. First of all, I must clap for both of you.
Thank
And
you. Thank you so much, sir.
from world over. On 6th of October, when we meet at Hotel Sandis Tower, Bhubaneswar, let's talk some more apps. Let's talk about some more edtech platforms,
Definitely.
some more softwares. Let's talk some, where we give them some more solutions, whatever has to be done with the technology, particularly in the hospitality. And when you talk about HR, yes, human resources play a very important role. And both of you are cordially invited. Be with us on 5th and 6th at Bhubaneswar for the 22nd International Convention. And we look forward to hear both of you. And no paper, no documents, everything got to be on the mobile phone.
No.
We want the whole world to come that way together.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
It was a pleasure
Thank
to
you.
have both of you, and look
Thank you
forward
so much.
to here in the future and to learn more